Estás en el estudio con Dre, Big H y Triple C.
Hey, yo.
Silverback Chronicles todos los lunes en todas plataformas.
Yo, fire.
Hello, gay.
Folks, what's up, baby? We back. It's your boys in blue, Silverback Chronicles podcast. It's your boy Big H. I got my brother Dre.
Que lo que, oye, todos los lunes on las plataformas. I love that. You know?
That shit sound official.
Yeah, it does. It's
official.
Yeah.
So what's good, bro? What you been up to?
Nothing, dog. Just you know, shucking and jiving.
That's
Shaking
it.
and moving.
Bobbing and weaving.
That's it. Hanging and banging.
Wow. Triple C.
Yo.
All day.
What's good, baby?
Maintaining chilling, bro.
All day, every day. My peoples, we back. It's episode 109. We still cooking. We still working. Listen, we're going to jump straight into it. Don't forget Stopbox USA. Discount code, all caps. Silverback Podcast. All caps, Silverback Podcast. Get you 20% off. Don't forget the website, www.silverbackchronicles.com. Get all your latest merch. And,
10%.
yeah.
Discount code is real ones.
Real ones. Discount code.
Don't forget the gold.
Alright? Don't forget the code. You're going to need that. Shout out to our brother John Bernthal, the Real Ones podcast.
That shit is hot.
That jump dope.
Our episode came out, episode 6, and it's strictly bananas. So if you haven't heard it, please tune into it, watch it, digest. Because we talking and we spitting real shit.
Then go back and rewatch it to make sure you ain't missing nothing.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
And if you did, it's okay, just watch it again.
Right. You still gonna catch something.
You're still going to catch something.
100%.
And you're going to have a good time.
Absolutely.
We love you. We appreciate you. All is well. With no further ado, Dre, you got anything else you want to say, bro?
Nah, let's just jump right into it. Why not?
With no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into this episode. It's episode 109, by the way, if I did say it earlier. But we have a special guest tonight, fellow brother on the blue line, serving and protecting. And he is doing his thing. And he doesn't just do policing. He wears a number of hats. He's a go-getter. Well, with no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, our special guest tonight, my brother Pablo in the building. What's good?
Yo, hello, gay, baby. It's a pleasure to be in the house of the Silverback.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you came
Thank you
down
for
to
coming
Congo.
on, bro.
Right, I came out of Congo.
You came
know
down
what
to
I'm
the Congo.
Came down to the Congo. Well, so what's good, bro? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. You know, blessed, highly favored, as they say, shaking and moving.
My man.
You know,
Look
ain't
good
that
with the
shaking
turtleneck,
working?
you know.
I'm trying to, do a little something.
Yeah, I see you. I see you.
I see you with the iced out Africa piece.
You know,
Wow.
sometimes they say less is more. You know what I'm
Ooh,
saying?
okay.
So I figure, I'm not gonna come out too flashy, man. Just enough to, show them that, I got a little style. Learned a
Absolutely.
little something.
Right.
Educated, you know.
Yeah.
I went
Right.
to school, went to college.
Yeah,
you know.
wave spinning.
You know what I'm saying?
You got the tsunamis up there.
Yeah.
Man, we tried.
What's
you
the
know.
life jacket? I need one.
The life jacket, man. I think
I
I
need
got
a
one in the
life-
car. You need one too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, we all could get one.
I'm not
yo.
trying to get seasick, bro.
Nah, for real, when I had him,
Uh-huh.
my shit was like Mason Bethel level waves.
Woo!
And I had the 2 earrings with the hat.
Shoot, yeah, I wasn't
tell
that
me,
fresh. I wasn't that fresh.
Every 2 seconds you saw me, I'm like this. Go to sleep with the, wave cap.
I heard they was
AK
crashing their
do-rag.
car when they see. Oh, dang! I heard they was.
Yeah, I used to flood the streets, dog.
Wow.
I used to flood them. with the waves.
Wow, man.
That was a long time ago. It's not about me. It's about you.
Well, I mean, it's a pleasure, man. Being on the show, man. Just thinking about where I'm at now and where I came from. I mean, I sort of feel like night and day. Growing up, Washington D.C. and living with my dad and my mom and my grandfather. Not really having everything that we needed. I was 3 years younger than my sister, so we was going to Langdon elementary school. But funds started getting tight. So my grandfather said, we had to move out. So we moved out of Maryland, and then we're still trying to go to the DC school, Langdon. So we're trying to go to Langdon, and the mayor at the time put out, a press release. Look, if you're living in Maryland, and you're still going to a DC school, we're gonna fine you $25K per kid. And it was me and my sister. So my dad, look, I don't got $50,000.
Like what year?
This was...
What time frame was this?
This was 1997.
Okay.
This was 1997.
That was a bit ago. Okay.
This was a minute ago. So 1997, we moved from Washington, D.C., and then we moved to Laurel, Maryland. Now, moving to Laurel from D.C. was a culture shock. Being in D.C., nothing but black people. You know what I'm saying? Go to Laurel, it's mostly white people. So, I'm kind of like, trying to adjust and trying to get to know people and stuff like that. The school was smaller. Everything was just different. Like I was telling Dre, I got suspended for saying the N-word. I'm like, yo, how I get suspended for saying nigga? So we had recess, and, we sitting there playing around. And, when you trying to ball and somebody not, shooting the ball, you get a little heated. Like, man, shoot the ball, nigga. And the principal came up. He said, Paul, what you say? I said, shoot the ball. I said, what you mean? He said, nah, you said something after that. I was like, I just said, shoot the ball. Nigga, he's like, all right, come to my office. I'm like, bro, I'm about to get suspended. I said the N-word on numerous occasions in D.C. and never got suspended. So now I'm living in Laurel, you know what I'm saying, and trying to, make new friends and everything. And, even now I'm a hustler, but I've been a hustler since I was a kid. 11 years old, started my own car washing business. Had a bucket, had a bottle of soap, a sponge, and I would walk from house to house. And I never really knew some of my clients were drug dealers. I charged them $10 to wash a car. They might give me $100. And so every time I went around, washing cars, people were like, yo, Paul, hey, can I wash cars with you? I was like, yes, I might give you like $2, for every car you help me out with. I said, but if you use my bucket and I'm not there, I want half. It's no longer $2.
That's some young CEOs.
Yeah, so they was like, all right. So I let him use my bucket. He washed like 5 cars, and I took half of the money. And so I just kind of like kept that mindset. But it started getting rough living in Laurel because my dad had a mental issue, right? And I really didn't understand it when I was a kid. We would go to the grocery stores and he would just like act out. When I say act out, he would talk about like the dreams that God showed him, but they were like death, doom, and destruction dreams. So we might leave out of Shoppers, and before we leave out, he's like, man, everybody gonna die. Tornado coming, hurricane coming, get your cross. And he would cut out these red crosses. And he would yell so much and disturb, the whole ambiance of where we were at. We would get kicked out. So my just was around the same time that the whole case was going on with what's my guy's name? The whole case. What's my guy who wrote the book? OJ. We was going around the same time with OJ Simpson. Mm-hmm. So after he talked about, the hurricanes, tornadoes, now he yelling out, OJ didn't do it. OJ didn't do it. So everybody's looking at us like, yo, who is this guy?
He's right about that.
Right. So, kinda. So, we are... So, we sitting there, going through the motions, and I'm looking like, man, like, we're getting kicked out of multiple houses, like, back to back. So, I was like, okay, what are we going to do about this? So, my mom, she ended up realizing my dad had a problem. So, she would, like, leave work. And as she leaving work, we're like, Ma, you can't just keep cutting your job off. So they ended up firing my mom. So my mom had left her job to take care of my dad because he would just randomly disappear because he had those mental outbreaks. So my mom, this is when things just started going down. This was like, what was this? This was like 2002. So we didn't have no transportation. We didn't have any funds. So we was getting Social Security to pay for everything. My mom started applying for food stamps. We ended up getting on food stamps. We didn't have no transportation. So the pastor from the church ended up getting us this car. It was like a Pontiac Grand Prix, like 1995. When I tell y'all that this car was like busted, it sounded like a lawnmower. Every time you started up, nying, 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 nying. And I used to be like, Dad, like, look, don't pick us up from the school. Like, pull around the back by the buses, man. He pulled up to the front of the school, man, just car loud, and I don't want to get in the car.
Certified hoopty.
So I'm like, man, yo, Dad, just pull around the back by the bus. You don't got to come to the front of the school. So Dad finally doesn't get it and everything. So, we're still trying to like make ends meet. My mom not working. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do what I can washing the cars, but it's still not enough to pay for like the rent and everything like that. So,
wow. At what age was you now?
Man, at that time, I'm probably about 12.
Really?
12.
Wow.
12 at that time. So now I'm like 12 years old, trying to be the man of the house, you know what I'm saying? And, it started getting rough. And I had a little brother. He was seven at the time. And I used to tell my little brother, like, John, stop hanging out with the wrong crowd. So, mind you, we're like, not the only black family, but one of the only black families that was there. And everybody would come to our house. My mom was like the neighborhood mom. So my little brother hanging out with these white kids. And they ended up breaking into an apartment, a vacant apartment that we were living in. And they flooded it. So pretty much the whole apartment was flooded out. So now we're trying to figure out what's going on. They end up blaming my little brother. So the apartment complex messages me, my family, my mom. Look, man, you guys broke into this apartment. You guys got to move out. I'm like, move out? I'm like, I know my little brother wasn't the only one that broke into this apartment. So they moved him to another side of the apartment complex to make it look like they kicked them out. So now I'm looking like, man, like what's going to happen? Where am I going to live at? My mom said she still wanted me to have a father figure in my life. So I ended up going to live with the pastor. My mom, my little brother, they went to go live with my grandma. And my oldest sister, she went to live with my brother. So now I'm leaving Laurel and going all the way to Clinton. So now I'm going to live with the pastor. And now I'm going to Stephen Decatur Middle School. So now I went from a black and white school to all black school. You know what I'm saying? And now I had to kind of like prove myself all over again. You know what I'm saying? They picking on me, light-skinned kid, ways, girls like them, like, who this new kid on the block? So I had to start, just prove myself. So I just started telling jokes. I said, man, look, if I just, make niggas laugh, they ain't gonna mess with me.
Right.
So I just started, becoming a class clown and just making people laugh. And like, yo, that little nigga funny, like little light-skinned dude, like, I fuck with him. So we end up leaving, graduating. So mind you, I'm not playing no sports at the time. I'm not athletic. I'm not in no type of extracurricular activities. I'm just hanging around on the block, still, doing my car washes. And now I started the car washing business in Clinton. So freshman year comes up.
In high school.
Freshman year high school, I'm starting at Surrattsville now. So I'm starting at Surrattsville. And now it's almost like I'm proving myself again. Because now the upperclassman is looking at me. So my old mentor, he was like, yo, Paul, you got to get involved in like a sport or something, like, or people just going to keep picking on you because, you're not really doing nothing. He said, why don't you try to play, wrestling? I said, man, wrestling gay. I said, them niggas in the tighty whities. I was like, I ain't trying to show myself like that. And he was like, man, wrestling is a man sport. So freshman year, didn't do no wrestling. My grades would suck. I mean, I had like a 2.0, then I went to 2.25, went back to a 2.0. Then I went barely made a 3.0, I made like a 2.8. So I said, man, 10th grade, I'm going to start getting involved. I'm going to start changing my outlook on school. I said, because 2 more years after this, I'm about to be graduating. So sophomore year, I joined the wrestling team. And I joined the wrestling team. They was just whooping my ass in the matches. I'm like, dang.
What weight division?
I was in 112. 112. Small guy, 112. And once I started wrestling, I started seeing more people start giving me more and more respect. So I started wrestling, ended up, going to counties, and I beat my first match, which was Gwynn Park. So I'm like, man, wrestling is kind of like fun. So I started traveling more, doing wrestling, getting in shape and everything. And that year I didn't make it to States. So I started playing football. I started playing football. I said, look, football is going to be my cross sport to stay in shape. So at the same time, I'm still with this outreach organization. We traveling around, we speaking on the radio, you know what I'm saying? We doing motivational speaking. I started doing motivational speaking on the morning announcements every morning. I'm like, yo, all right. Yo, this your boy, Paul J. Yo, it's time to represent. And so now people are looking at me as a motivating factor in the school.
Wow.
So I get into the football. So now I'm starting to play, more sports. And before, I was nervous. I was scared. I was like, man, I'm short. I'm small. I'm not big enough to play no sports. I said, why don't, I just started pushing it to the limit. So started playing football.
What position?
I was a cornerback on defense, and then slot back on offense, and then I was headhunter on the special team.
Nice.
And I was like, yo, Paul, like, you fast? Like, look, just run. Like, you just like running. So why don't we just give you something to do? So I'm playing sports. One guy from the football team, man, I never forget this moment. And the same guy from the football team, he was a running back. He's probably about 225. So we in the neighborhood playing basketball. We slap boxing. This was before I started boxing. We slap boxing. He goes to slap me, and I lean back, and he misses, but I slip. And he was like, oh, I dropped him. I was like, nigga, what? I said, bro, I slipped. I said, you didn't even touch me. He was like, no. I said, man. I said, fight me again. He's like, no, it's over. So this is, running back from the football team. So next day, we get to football practice. Doing the hang cleans, we doing bench pressing. I'm still like one of the smallest ones on the team. So he telling everybody, yeah, man, I dropped Paul. I said, nigga, what? I said, bro, you did not drop me. I said, you swung, I dodged and slipped. I said, man, you know what? Fight me right now. So now we got the whole four. They're like, ooh.
They're like, do it.
Yeah, so like, look, it's either do or die. And he was like, man, all right,
He was heated at that point, right?
He was heated.
I'm saying you was like,
well, I was heated.
You was ready to go.
I was like, man, I'm tired of you like trying, act like you better than me. First of all, you didn't knock me out. You didn't drop me. So we're gonna settle this.
And you telling folk
right
tales.
Now. And you taking folk tales. So I'm like, bro, you lying. So I was like, you know what? See me right outside. So at Sarasville, it's like some steps that go up, and then it's like the weight room. I was like, all right, so I go back downstairs, and while, everybody getting ready, I'm doing the diamond push-ups. So they come down and say like, yo, Briscoe, Paul doing the jail push-ups, nigga, you better watch out. He was like, nigga, I don't care about that. I had 2 people rooting for me, and they was the 2 people from the wrestling team that pretty much started playing football with me. And the whole other 18 people, they rooting for Briscoe, because I'm like a $112. He like 225. Like, ain't no way. It felt like David and Goliath, to be honest. So we leave out the gymnasium, and we go outside. Everybody like, ooh. So I'm looking like, yo, God be with me, man. You ain't gonna let me go down. I said, man, you help David be Goliath. Look, this my Goliath right here. So we get out there, everybody surrounding us. They were like, yo, swing first.
It's like 3 o'clock high.
Right. So imagine we just finished working out, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just like got this energy. So now I'm doing my diamond push-ups. I did like 100. And so now he come, he like, all right, he said, you ready, little nigga? I said, nigga, you ready? I was like, mate, I'm scared, but I'm still.
So is this slap boxing or y'all?
No, it's slap boxing. So now we in front of each other. You know what I'm saying? I got my hands up, and he just comes out throwing these haymakers. Like, to be honest, his stature was like your size, but he was just shorter. He was just like real, like Diesel.
He's just coming wild.
I'm like, boom, 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 catching him. And all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, pop, and I hit him. He said, oh, okay, all right. And so now, I'm still, as he's getting wilder and wilder. So now I'm trying to find, all right, should I catch him with a joint or like just a back tap? So now he's like looking at me trying to figure him out. So he comes out of nowhere with this mean haymaker. And the joint looked like it came from like West
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago just.
Wow.
So I come to the side and I catch it. And I could just hear my shoulder and everything brace. I was like, And he said, oh! I was like, I looked up. He was like, shit. He was like, damn. They was like, Briscoe, what happened? He said, man, I think I knocked my shoulder out. Everybody was like, what? They was like, yo, Paul, you won. They lift me up. Yo, it felt like a movie. They were like, yeah. I was like, man, no, man, y'all ain't believing me.
You felt like Rudy.
I felt like Rudy. I was like, man, I felt so good. I was like, man, I said, you know what?
He overdid it.
From that point on, I realized like the strength was in my heart and not the size of my stature. And I got so much respect from everybody after that. And like, things just started to take off right after that. I started doing the plays in the school. I started doing graphic design. They just had a graphic design course that we didn't even have. I was like, you know what? I'm going to start doing graphic design because right now I'm just drawing on homework, drawing on T-shirts and just sketching. Like I'm not really, getting the best out of my craft. My GPA started going up, got on honor roll, and then I ended up getting on the dean's list.
That's dope.
And then right after that next year I became the captain of the wrestling team. So now I go from first year, losing to second year. Now I'm becoming a captain. And now, I'm getting a chance to show people what I could do and ended up making it to States, that year. And it was just like
your junior year.
My junior year. Ended up going to States that year. And it was just like just like a 180 experience. Like I just started just seeing a lot, and then my mom would come down to the honor roll ceremonies, and I started just traveling more and just like speaking more and just being an advocate. I remember there was this place called Poplar Hill in Clinton, Maryland, and it was like a black museum, and we would pretty much it was an old plantation, but they used it as a museum, so they would do like African plays. And it was like, yo, Paul, I need you to come and talk to Congress on Lawyers Mall because they want to take and tear this building down. I was like, what? I was like, all right, I'm going to come with you guys. So me and my friends, we go to Lawyers Mall, and I'm looking at, everybody, speaking on these bills and this and this. I'm like, God, like, I don't really know what to say. Like, I'm just a junior in high school. Like, these are like older folks. So just tell me what to say. And so when I get up there, they was like, Paul, what you want to say? I was like, I said, what good is a community? And the Bible said, what good is a man to gain the world and lose his soul? I said, what good is a community to gain houses and lose its history? And everybody just got quiet. It was like, what did he say? A month later, they ended up granting that museum $100K. I'm like, yo, that one quote made $100,000.
You just spend off,
and I would just spend it off the top. Well, not the top of the head, but just letting God use it. Like, let me just tell me something. And after that, I was like, wow. And so, mind you, at this time, I'm still living with the pastor, and it's starting to get rough. You know what I'm saying? Living with him. Like,
how was that experience living with the pastor? Did you know him personally?
Huh?
Did you know him personally?
Yeah, I knew him personally. He was the same pastor that gave us the car. When we
got you. The
Pontiac. The Pontiac.
Okay.
Same one that gave us the Pontiac.
Did he let you bring things through?
Nah. He
couldn't do that.
I can't.
Okay. No, but what was that experience like initially when you moved in?
Initially, when I moved in, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? He would like drive me back, to Laurel, let me see my friends. He would kind of like just be very, very, supportive. But it started changing like my junior year. Actually, it started changing my sophomore year. Once I started, playing sports and everything, it started changing. Because mind you, I'm making money now in this neighborhood versus where I used to live at. So he's like, yo, I think you need to, open up a joint account, so I can help you save your money. And I was like, I'm just going to get cash. Like, I really don't need no bank account. He was like, nah, open a joint account. So now all this money I'm making, I'm giving it to him, putting it in the bank. So the same museum that I told you we saved, she wanted to take all the students that was helping out with the museum and doing the plays to London. And I was like, hey, I want to use some of my money, from my account. I got like $1,300 in there. It's only going to cost like $700 to go to London. He was like, nah, you can't go. I said, what? I said, how you going to tell me I can't go out the country? I said, I could easily apply for a passport. It's not expensive. So when I started seeing the control, that's when the control started being more and more like prevalent. He wouldn't let me go out different places. He wouldn't let me.
But like, why though?
He just was being like overprotective, and because he knew my mom and knew my dad, he didn't want nothing happening to me. And I was like, I can understand that, but don't just not let me do anything. Like I had to ask permission.
But your bread was your bread though, right?
Huh?
He didn't keep your money though, right?
Well, he actually ended up keeping the money. So the end of my junior year, my mentor who I was with, I told my mom, I said, Mom, like, I don't want to live with the pastor no more. I said, I don't like the way things are moving. Like, there's been a couple times we almost got in a fight. And I was like, I can't be fighting the pastor of the church. And I know if I stay, it's going to get ugly.
It's going to be problems.
It's going to be problems. Like, the one night that really changed the way I looked at him was when I went to my sister's birthday party. Now, mind you, I'm not directly connected with my sister. She's in a whole different side of Maryland. I'm in Clinton.
Your older sister?
My older sister.
Gotcha.
And she's in Laurel. So I want to go to her birthday. So I was like, look, I'm going to catch the metro from Branch Avenue all the way to, from Greenbelt. No, correction, Branch Avenue. Catch it to Greenbelt. She going to pick me up from Greenbelt. And we're going to go to the Cheesecake Factory. We get there. It's like 2-hour wait. So what ended up being a 7 o'clock dinner didn't start till 9 o'clock. So mine just was Saturday. He was a pastor of the church. We had church Sunday. So Saturday night, the lady who was going to take me back home, she's like, Paul, I'm leaving early because, I don't feel like waiting that long. I'm like, all right. I was like, well, I'm staying. I'm like, I'm not leaving. So at the end of the dinner, I asked if she could just drop me off at the metro and I try to get somebody to pick me up. So, mind you, it's like 11 o'clock. So I called the pastor and said, look, man, I know it's late. I know you got to preach tomorrow, but, I wanted to stay, for my sister's birthday. He was like, all right, that's cool. And I knew it wasn't cool. So catch the metro to Naylor Road. My boy picked me up. I ain't know this man had weed on him. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking like, so, you get off Naylor Road, you can see cops just posted up. So I see the cop posted up. And I said, man, I got a bad feeling about tonight. I just can't pinpoint it. So I get off the metro. He picks me up. I think he had like a Crown Vic. It looked like a hood car. Typical hood car. So we pull off, and the cop pull us over. Might have just left Cheesecake Factory. I still got the cheesecake in the bag. So he pulled me over, or pull us over, and my man's like, oh, damn. I said, damn what? He said, I got weed in the car. I said, nigga, so? I said, don't say nothing. He said, nah, bro, I gotta say something. I said, bro, you don't gotta say nothing. He said, man, they can smell it. I was like, yeah, you right. So cop pulled us over. He said, hey, where you guys going? He said, I'm just taking my man home. He said, any weed in the car? He said, man, just a little bit. He was like, you mind if I search the car? I said, nah, you go ahead and search what you want. So they asked him to get out the car. Mind you, it's cold. I get out the car and I reach back in for the cheesecake. Police said, what you doing? I was like, sir, I'm just reaching for the cheesecake. I said, I'm not reaching for no weapon. He said, man, sit on the floor. I said, all right, so I'm on the curb now. And during this time, I got like 3 Nextel phones, the little chirp joint. So he searched my pocket, take all the phones out. He said, man, what you doing with all these phones? I said, I'm a businessman. Right. He said, what type of business you do? I said, I do car wash and I sell candy. He said, what? He said, you sell candy? I was like, yeah. He was like, man, get over there. I was like, all right. So they ended up impounding my man's car. So they impounded the car. They was like, you don't got insurance and we need to search it for more evidence. I'm like, bro, how am I gonna get home, bro? It's 12:30. I said, I gotta be to church at 8. So his uncle come pick us up. Uncle come pick us up in the Corvette. I'm like, nigga, it's 3 of us. How we gonna fit in this joint? So he's like, all right, Paul, look, I'm gonna sit in the front. You gonna sit in the back. I'm like, the back? He was like, yeah. So I'm in the back joint, like in the fetal position, laying like this. So we get back to the house. And he calls the pastor, look, man, I got Paul, we just had something happen to the car, so you can come pick him up. So now he yelling at my man's uncle, man, Paul should have been. He said, look, I don't know who you think this is, but this ain't Paul. He was like, so you could cut all that out. And he was like a real cocaine dope dealer. So he don't like nobody, disrespecting him.
Crazy, yeah.
So then he picks me up. Now he's all mild-mannered, you know what I'm saying, talking to the dude. So we get back home. And he like, yo, Paul, man, it's 1:37. He said, I got to be up at 8 o'clock, and I'm sitting around here fooling around with you. He said, man, take your pants off. I was like, what? He's like, so he pulled the belt out. So now I'm looking like damn, I ain't got a buck with me in a minute, yo. So I been over on the couch, and he just going, bow, bow.
Wait, you did it?
Yeah, I did it.
You bent over, huh?
Yep. I bent over, man. Bent over. He said it well enough. I ain't mean to get. It do sound crazy now I'm saying I was like, dang.
Yo, you a big benefit.
That's what I said.
Paul, bend over.
So now,
hey yo,
we can't play the game home for the party.
Yeah, we could have played.
I have no idea this story is going this way.
I don't either. You fucking with us? You fucking with us?
Nah, it was serious. So now he beating me, right? And I'm acting like I'm hurt.
This is junior or
this is junior. Junior year. This is junior. So I'm acting like I'm hurt. He's like, Bob. I'm like, He was like, man, he's like, don't you ever come in the house late. So now I'm just faking. I'm like, man, I don't really hurt. So I go upstairs and I'm just crying. I'm like, man, I'm tired of living here, man. Like, this not working out. Like I told my mom, I said, Mom, I want to leave. I want a new family, young. I'm tired of this. So then I go to move in with my mentor. So now I'm leaving Maryland and going all the way to King George, Virginia. So I'm going
Where?
King George, Virginia, like near Fredericksburg.
Oh shit.
I'm going like near Fredericksburg.
What's that, like 3-4 hours?
Yo,
Like from here, it's like this one was like 3. It's probably like 2.5. Probably like 2.5 hours. It's pretty much you pass La Plata.
that's like Deep Creek or South.
It's like where Wardolph is, but you keep straight. You just keep straight
I
past.
gotta explore Maryland because I have no idea.
Yeah, it's like an hour and 20 past Wardolph. Like past Wardolph. So like
okay.
it's like going like near like Rappahannock, all that like
I ain't been there either.
all
Fuck, dog.
like,
I'm from New York, dog.
came here
to work.
Right.
We just came here to work. I still haven't experienced.
He's like, I know about the Barrows.
I just went to like Ocean City like last year.
Oh snap!
And I've been here 11 years.
Dang, it's so many parts of Maryland. I found that's a Hollywood, Maryland. It's like a Hollywood, Maryland. Yeah, I think it's like the country. Though. I don't think it's like
Shout out to them.
a big place.
So now you where now?
So now I'm in King George, Virginia.
Not Prince George.
With my mentor. With my mentor now. And
what a story.
I'm trying to do the same stuff I was doing at the last one. Like, all right,
but you still in your junior year?
I'm in my senior year now.
Okay.
So I leave.
So now you're in a different school.
Now I'm in a different school for my senior year.
What's the name of that school?
It's called King George.
King
George, Virginia, the Foxes. So now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just do the same thing I did at Surrattsville and just make it better. You know, I'm gonna join the football team.
Right.
When I tell you they suck, man, they were like 0-25. Like the football team ain't won a game in 2.5 years.
Damn.
And when I went there, they ended up going 5-5.
Okay.
And it wasn't just because I was a great player. You know, I was just always motivated. I'm like, yo, hard work pays off. No pain, no gain. Respect is worth the sweat. So like every time like they would like be feeling like, I'm like, yo, bro, like y'all can't just be acting all soft, man. Like y'all gotta really like put some work in. So like lunchtime, you know what I'm saying? We in the bathroom, not the bathroom. We in the gym doing pull-ups, working out, training, and everything. Now I'm still on the morning announcements, doing the recap, like I did at Surrattsville. Then I'm on top of that. Now I'm on a wrestling team. Now this wrestling team is mostly white boys. You know what I'm saying? It's only 2 black people on this team, and I ended up being a captain again on this team. So now I'm a captain on this team. And I didn't realize.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How does one become a wrestling captain?
Captain? Well, first of all,
like, you have to out wrestle everybody.
You gotta out wrestle everybody. You gotta like out wrestle
on a 1-on-1.
On like a 1-on-1
during practice.
During practice. By me being small, I was 112, Surrattsville, sophomore, junior year. Senior year, I tried to go 112 again, but in Virginia, they're really strict on your BMI, like your body mass index. So they see that you're not hydrated at 112, they won't let you go there. So I had to bump up to 119 and wrestle 119. So on top of just being a captain, you still had to wrestle every week because there were like 3 other 119s that wanted your spot. So I'm like, the only black lower class guy, like how can I, you know what I'm saying, get an edge over these players, you know what I'm saying? So I like, all right, so I would work out with them. I would come home, I would do another workout. You know, I would end up running and jogging to school. Like, it was probably about like a mile. So every day, you know what I'm saying, I'm jogging to school. I'm like, look, y'all not going to be better than me. I said, I know I'm small, but I'm strong. And then the lunchtime, you know, I'm in there, boom, doing my pull-ups, doing my dips, you know what I'm saying, working out so that I would always just have an advantage. And I went undefeated on all my home matches. And I got like the MVP. They have counties, then they got sectionals, and then they have regionals, and then states. So ended up going to states again. Now I'm going to states in Virginia. In Virginia. So grades is doing good. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing more outreach now and just still doing the same thing that I was doing. And I started getting involved in the plays. We're doing like Langston Hughes. Nice. You know, I'm in the Drama Society, still doing my graphic design and just kind of just revamping that whole mantra of the school, because most people don't know about King George, but King George is like the country. So all you doing out there is fucking when you ain't doing no sports or nothing. So I was like, you know what? I want to decrease the birth rate. So I started doing car washes. We started taking the kids from, you know, King George and bringing them to DC and bringing them to the city and showing them like it's so much more than just
Wow,
one
that's
little
dope.
area. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just be caught up, you know, in this area. So the teacher saw like how talented I was, so she said, "Paul, I want to put you in like advanced classes. You know, I really think you're very, very smart." I was like, "Well, I appreciate that." So started taking advanced classes. Ended up getting an advanced diploma, you know, right after my senior year. So now I'm trying to figure out, what am I gonna do? I was like, you know, I had a really, really good year. You know, definitely did a lot, reached a lot of people, talked to a lot of people, mentored. I traveled. I went from traveling all over Maryland, and that's what was the good part about playing football and wrestling, you know what I'm saying, in King George. I got to just travel the whole state for free, you know what I'm saying, and not have to worry about nothing. So the end of my senior year came, and I said, okay, you know, by me living in Virginia, I want to either go to a Virginia school to get in-state or just get a scholarship. So they told me Harvard, you know, wanted to interview me. I was like, Harvard? I said, nigga, how did Harvard hear about me? They was like, you know, they like what you doing. They seen, they read about you. They read about the articles. And I was like, okay. So now I go to meet with this guy in this big old mansion. And he said, Paul, you know, we heard about you. And they let my parents and everybody in a whole different room. They said, we heard about what you're doing, man. We think you'd be a great asset to Harvard University. And I was like, you think I'd be good for Harvard? He said, man, absolutely. He said, you know, I'm just looking at, you know, your grades and everything. He said, you know, you got good grades. He said, you know, I'm looking at, you know, you play sports, you know what I'm saying? You're in the community. You're just doing everything. So he said, look, there's going to be an 8-week process. And he said, during this 8-week process, there's going to be a cut every single week. And if you make it to the last cut, you'll get a full ride to Harvard. I said, you got to be kidding me. He said.
But a cut doing what?
Huh?
A cut doing what?
Well, they had a selection. They had 100
Oh,
kids.
like
It's the
okay.
process.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
they had 100,
gotcha.
100 students, and I was in
Like
100 students.
like through a funnel kind of.
Yeah, a little funnel. So
Got
they would
it,
cut off
okay.
students each week.
So then what happened?
So first week, I make the first cut. Second week, make that cut.
I know you was like.
Third week, I'm like, oh snap! Like, yo, I'm in the like the 6th round of cuts. We get to the 8th week. He said, Paul, look, man, it's one more cut, and you could be a Harvard student. I was like, man, I'm nervous. He said, look, I'm going to write a letter of recommendation for you on top of what I already wrote, just so it can give you more leeway. So we get to the 8th week, and he said, Paul, man, I'm sorry. I said, man, what happened? He said, this guy from Missouri, he beat you. He wrote like a symphony. I was like, dang. I said, he wrote a symphony? I said, well, that's understandable. All right. I'm like, well, let me just check on some other schools. So now I'm looking at UVA. Like UVA, you know, I'm like, I want to wrestle. I was like, so I can wrestle for, you know, college. UVA told me my GPA wasn't high enough. And I realized when I went from Maryland to Virginia, there's a big gap.
It's a huge gap.
A huge gap.
Right.
Like, you know, Maryland's on 10 point, Virginia on 7.
Totally different.
You know, you got to get a 93 to get an A. If you got a 80, what is it, an 86 to a 92 is a B. And and a 77 to an 85 is a C. So I'm looking like, dang, so a lot of my low A's end up turning to B's. A lot of my low B's end up turning to C's. So I'm like, all right, I can't go there. I said, well, let me try to do historically black college. So now I'm looking at Hampton. And I was like, I originally wanted to do architect design. And Hampton has a phenomenal architect program. So I apply to Hampton. I get in, but they don't give me no scholarship money. I'm like, dang. I said, I don't get nothing. They was like, you know, you could we could try, but we don't have anything ready for you. So now I'm going back and forth to UMES, home of the Hawks. So my mentor took me back there. I was at this school so much, people thought I was a student at UMES before I even became a student. So they was like, yo, do you go here? Like, what classes you take?
My fault. What is UM?
University of Maryland, Eastern Shore.
Got it.
University of Maryland, Eastern Shore. It's right next
Black
to
school of all time.
Salisbury State.
What is it?
Hog Pride. Catch
Pride.
it.
You went there?
Absolutely.
You know, maroon and gray all day. But it's historically black college. Founded in 1886. And I applied for UMES. UMES accepted me. They gave me scholarship money. They gave me more than enough money. Like, I was getting refund checks back. So now I'm at UMES and I'm like, okay, man, I got to make my mark. Like, how can I make my mark? I done did it in college. I done did it at high school, 2 different schools. How can I do it here? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to run for office. So I ran for freshman class president. So there were 7 other people running for freshman class president. And my motto was, all right, I'm good, life is good, and it feels good to be a part of life. So like I will always say, hey, vote Paul Jerry, all right. And when the voting and stuff actually came up, there was a guy, his name was Kenneth Cherry. My name is Paul Jerry. So a lot of my votes ended up going to him. So when it's time to vote, they was like, yo, it's a tie. You know, we got to do a tiebreakers between you and this girl. I'm like, dang. So now I'm telling everybody, look, I need y'all to re-vote for me. So they was like, all right. So now I'm telling everybody. And 2 days later, they announced me as the winner. So now I'm freshman class president. I said, all right, what else can I do? I was like, I want to join the drama society. I was like, because I'm trying to do more with my acting. You probably remember Mama D, Della Dameron Johnson. She was the acting director and acting coach at University of Maryland Eastern Shore. So now, okay, I'm involved with that. I'm doing SGA, and I'm still balancing my coursework. So UMES had me feeling like engineering was the same as architect design, which it wasn't. So I'm not even at the peak that I need to be for to start the course. Like you got to be already at pre-calculus or calculus. I was like, look, I'm not trying to take no classes, for that. So I'm trying to focus on SGA. I'm trying to, figure out where I want to go with school, trying to figure out how I'm going to be involved in campus, how I'm going to leave my mark. Second semester comes around and half of my board failed out. So now it's only me and my secretary. And they're like, yo, Paul, you can't run a board just with you and one other person. So we're just going to have to just, stop all activities and everything. I'm like, dang. I was like, well, at least I can kind of focus on my grades and everything. So after that, I was like, you know what? I don't want to be president no more. It's too stressful. I said, I'm about to just be the face of the class and I'm going to run for Mr. Sophomore. So sophomore year comes up and I said, you know what? I want to switch my major. So I'm not going to do engineering anymore. I want to do graphic design. I said, I want to do art. My mentor was like, that's lazy. Like, you're being lazy. You don't want to do engineering. That's where the money is at. I said, man, like, if I don't love it, why would I want to do it?
Right.
I could make all the money in the world, but not be proud of and happy. Now I'm just making money, but I'm hurting inside. So now I'm in a drama society now, and I'm Mr. Sophomore. So now I'm Mr. Sophomore. And during this time, oh shit, I forgot all about that. So right after high school, when I took that year off, I took a year off when the whole Harvard situation, I didn't know what school I was going to go to. So I took a year off and started boxing. I was like, you know what? Since I can't wrestle in college, I'm going to just find a sport to stay fit. So I started boxing with Diamonds in the Rough under Coach Tace. I'm starting to box. And I'm like, yo, I actually like this. I said, man, I'm nice. I'm catching dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I lost my first fight. And I felt like it was biased because the dude was bigger than me. And then I'm tagging them and they still not giving it to me. So I'm like, you know what? It's all good. So we go to the ringside world championship. So now we training. You probably know old school boxing. There's some different gyms that's around here. So now, I'm training.
That's your boxing like guru right there.
Oh, my man.
That's your boxing.
All day. So I'm training. We get ready for the ringside world championships. And they was like, yo, Paul, since you was wrestling 119, just box 125. So you really don't have to worry about cutting weight. You can stay at. I was like, all right, I'll go bantamweight. So I beat this one guy from, what state was he from? It might have been like New Mexico. No, it wasn't New Mexico. It was, what city was that? It might have been New Mexico. So I go to the finals. Fighting this guy from Vallejo, California. And they was like, yo, Paul, man, look, you win this shot, you taking the belt back. Like, we need somebody from DC take the belt back. So we get up there, boom, tagging him. He bloody. I don't really got that much blood on me. I'm just lighting him up. And all of a sudden, they end up raising his hand at the end. Everybody was like, boo. And I was like, yo, how did he win? I said, man, I was dogging this dude. They was like, yo, Paul, that fighter was one of the fighters of the person that's running the whole tournament. So if you don't knock him out,
You're not gonna win.
You're not gonna win. Like, you gotta drop him.
Can never leave it in the ref's hands.
Can't never leave it in the ref's hands. So now I'm mad. I'm like, all right, man. So I get back.
That kid became famous or no?
No, he I don't think he's famous. A lot of guys that I box with are famous though. I'm gonna talk about them. So now I come back and I was like, all right, let me just start, working on my boxing training. So we did a lot of traveling during that year, me being off, then going to school. Freshman year, I started talking with athletics while I'm doing, SGA, trying to figure out what my major gonna be. I said, I want to start a gym, here on campus. So I said, look, if y'all can get the materials and everything, we can set everything up. It took about a year, sophomore year, we ended up starting a boxing gym. So I would bring kids from college with me when I'm fighting in Golden Gloves. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can come down and see the fights. If y'all want to box, y'all can get registered, USA, and everything like that. So people started really, really liking my boxing style. So they're like, yo, Paul, these boys from Ireland.
What was your boxing style?
I was like, I would say I was almost like, what's my guy's name? Not Floyd. I was more so like, shoot, I'm trying to figure out his name. He got chin checked later on in his career.
Is he black, Spanish?
Black. Who did whatchamacallit just
Sweet
go
Pea.
against? Not Sweet Pea. Who did Tyson go against? Roy. Almost like a Roy.
Oh, you more
Roy
like
Jones
Roy.
Jr.?
Yeah, so I was like, boom, boom. Like, I really didn't like getting hit. I was like, look, I need to be able to go to a photo shoot. I need to be able to shoot a commercial right after the fight. Like, I don't want to get hit. So, like, I might be dodging, moving. Like, a lot of guys that I fought, are pros now. Like, Gary Antonio Russell. He's pro now. Gervonta Davis, he's pro now. We fought together on Team USA against Ireland. We was actually
You was on the USA team, dog?
Yeah, on the USA. Yeah, so
how was that?
That was fun. That was fun. First Ireland came to US.
Okay.
And they called me off the random. Like, Paul, look, we got this fighters from Ireland. We need you to come in. I'm like, yo, I don't even know if I'm on weight. I said, this is just random. So went down there. Luckily, I was on weight. And I was like the first USA boxer to beat one of the Ireland guys. I said, bro, you're not going to come to DC and just dog us and just think, So that fight is actually on YouTube as well. So they're like, yo, man, Paul is fast. He be moving. Like, he don't get hit a lot. Like, let's bring him back. So now, sophomore year comes up, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, I missed a sophomore, I'm traveling more. I'm still doing the outreach. Now we got the boxing room. So I'm running the kids around campus. And they was like, man, Paul, like, you really, really just doing a lot and just leaving an impact, on the campus. And so the boxing team called me back and said, Paul, we about to go to Ireland. I said, what part? It was like, Belfast. They was like, you got a passport? I said, I don't. They said, we'll pay for the passport, everything. So my mentor at the time was very, very overprotective. He's like, Paul, you're not going to Ireland unless I go with you. I was like, why do you need to go with me to Ireland? Like, you're not a level 2 coach, so you can't coach international. You can only coach, within, domestically. So he ended up still going, with me, out there, and ended up getting out there. And I mean, they showed us around. We was on the BBC News, and it's funny that I talk so, articulately. And Tank, he was looking at him like, yo, Paul, like, how you be talking like that? Like, yo, Tank is easy. I said, you put a microphone. That's like my go-to. I said, like, all you have is boxing. I said, I went to school. I said, I learned a lot. I said, so I know, when that camera gets on me, how to react. He's like, yo, that's what's up. That's what's up. So being around them and like just learning more, about, what we were doing. And we went out to the club one night. And mind you, I'm the oldest boxer with the boxers. So at the time, I was probably like 21. At the time, everybody else, like, what's Tank? Tank was probably 17 at the time. He's probably like 4 years younger than me. He's probably like 17. Then you got Malik Jackson. He was there, and some other guys from the Diamonds in the Rough team. And so we go out. I said, look, we go to this place. I said, you gotta remember, we the only black people in this country right now. And we're boxers. We've been on the news. We've been on the radio. Do not tell nobody where we staying at. If they say, yo, where you staying at? I say, man, I don't even know. So we get to the club, only black dudes, We freshening everybody, Island boys, they got their swag different. So they just was just staring at us. Girls just flocking to us, we just
All them
cool.
redheads after y'all.
You know what I'm saying? So now they looking at us. And I'm like,
Whole lot of hungry eyes.
Whole lot of hungry eyes. So I'm looking and I could feel it. And like, man, they're like, look at the boys over there. You know how they be talking. I'm like,
right.
So this might
Yeah,
be
y'all
some
can't
top
do
boy
that
stuff.
different.
Yeah, come get a taste.
Presentation, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Come get a taste.
I was like, man, do they? So somebody asked me, like, hey, where your boy staying at? I said, man, I don't even know. I said, man, we somewhere around this joint. We just walk. Like, oh, okay. He said, man, I know you're here for the boxing. I said, yeah, we here for the boxing. He said, okay. So mind you, I was about to get some numbers. I was like, man, forget it. I said,
Let's get up out of here.
I don't need no numbers. I said, yeah, let's go. So mind you, the way the clubs are in Ireland, it's almost like the entrance is in the alley. So like you gotta walk down the alley and then you go to the entrance. So as we walk out the club down the alley, I'm looking behind us, making sure like nothing don't happen. So now we walking, and I was like, man.
And this is your whole team was with you.
The whole team with me. So I'm looking like, except for the young kids. Like there was some fighters, they was like, 8, 9,
Yeah,
They wasn't out.
They wasn't out. They
Nah,
were
but like Tank and the other gentlemen.
Tank, Malik, all them.
So they outside.
They outside. So yeah, we outside.
Island.
In Ireland. And so now we getting ready, to go back home.
So nothing popped off.
Nothing there pop. I don't know if I should say this because I don't want to.
Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing popped off.
Yeah, nothing there really popped off.
Listen, you here, so everything Gucci.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything was Gucci. So
And Tank is doing very well.
yeah, Tank was doing
So
very
everything
well.
all worked out.
Yeah, everything worked out
For everybody.
Yeah, for everybody.
What happens in Ireland stays in
Stays in
Ireland.
Ireland.
That's
Right.
it. Right.
So
Yeah.
end up getting out there. It's the night of the fight and everything, and my body was still adjusting to that time zone. It's like 6 hours ahead. So I'm like, all right, let me just relax, breathe. So, we warming up. Girls come over, let me get a look at the Irish. And they kiss me. I'm like, I'm good. I don't need no luck. I'm good. So the same dude that I beat, we ended up exchanging heavy. And then they ended up giving it to him. And I was like, yo, how come we didn't have no American judges? I was like, when he came here, we had American and USA judges, so it wouldn't be biased. But there was only Ireland judges, no American judges. So yeah, the fix is in. So we was like, yo, we gotta have to break this tie, bro. Like I beat you in my hometown, you beat me in your hometown, but we never got a chance to break the tie. So now we just 1-1, and he's in Australia somewhere now. He moved out.
Oh, you kept up on him?
Yeah, I kept up with him, and we still stay in touch. On Instagram.
Oh wow, that's dope.
Still talking to Tank?
I don't talk to Tank as much, but I talk to Coach Calvin.
I
talked to Coach Calvin.
That's dope.
Because I know, like, Tank, he definitely has grown a lot, from when I first met him, just, as a man. And, he got, kids now, But, money can always kind of, like, defer you a little bit. But sometimes you got to get grounded. I'm glad that when he went with Floyd and Adrian Broner, when he was training, Coach Calvin, like, yo, I got to bring you back to Baltimore. Like, all that playing and stuff, like that's cool, but we got to get back down to the nitty gritty. And I think once Tank came back, it was like, let me just start focusing on what's really how I got here. And once he started getting back grounded and training, like that's when you started seeing like a beast.
You can see it. He's more of a, he follows boxing way more. Yeah. But I could see the difference with who's the guy that he was supposed to fight that he's fighting now.
Which one?
I think the kid is like Spanish or.
Yeah, they I forgot his name. Romero.
Oh, Romero. Okay.
You could tell that Tank has just a different sense of maturity because that kid is talking a lot. And Tank is like, very professional. Tank is like, yo, I'm just going to knock you out. He's not like talking shit.
Yeah, right.
But he's also like not like, oh my God, I'm scared of you.
Because Tank is confident in his skills.
Oh yeah, you can see it.
It's a scary fight though.
It's a scary
It's
fight.
a tough one.
Yeah.
Romero got cracked.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true though.
He got cracked.
That is
he
true.
He does.
So it can go. I say Tank has relaxed more, but Tank is not a boxer. Tank is a brawler.
Yeah.
He's a natural brawler.
Was he a brawler back then when you?
I ain't gonna hold you. We had a couple sparring sessions before like the fights. So, Tank Southpaw, I'm Orthodox. So we getting ready, what I'm saying? We sparring, I don't like getting hit and Tank fast. So, I'm like moving. And so I see an opening and I said, yo, should I take that drink? I say, man, I don't even know how many rounds we're gonna end up doing. Like, I don't want to make Tank mad. So I was like, I gotta fight tomorrow night.
You gotta get on your bike.
Right, you gotta get on your bike.
Right.
Like if I do this,
Right. So
I might be in for a long night.
So now me and Tank, we like sparring, and you know we got headgear on and everything. So I move around and I catch him with a straight right. And when I tell you that, it's just like
Pissed him off.
Tank came swinging like, oh snap! I was just like moving. He caught me one. I was like, all right, I want to get one. Then they were like, blink. I was like, all right, then get me out of here. I don't tell you a beast, bro. I said, I only need one hit to know, you know, say you got power.
I mean, like he got the town on his back, but he puts people to sleep.
Yeah.
He does. It's just
he puts people to sleep.
If I was in there longer, he probably would have put me to sleep. Shoot.
It's just, you know, when you
You would have been waking up right now.
Yeah, we waking up. I was like, hey Dre, Ralph, where we at?
You stupid. You know, when you step up in talent, you know, the shark water different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we talking about like excellent boxers.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why I get nervous with Tank. Because there's some sharks out there.
Yeah.
That could box all 12 rounds. Easy.
Right. Like the last little guy, Pitbull.
That was a tough fight for him.
You know, that was a tough
Which
fight.
one was that?
His last fight.
I don't know his name, but he's nicknamed Pitbull.
Yeah. Another Mexican fighter.
Oh yeah, I did watch
He
that.
wear that little
mask.
Jason
Yeah.
mask.
I watched that. That was a good fight. It was entertaining.
Yeah, it was good, but you know, you could tell Tank don't want to be a boxer long. He want to get in, get his bread, and get out.
From a MMA standpoint, I see, and this is why I respect Tank. I like his coaching. I respect the way they coach him. I like the fact that like they be like, yo, stop playing with him. And then all of a sudden the next round he comes out of that corner and the opponent touches the canvas.
Right, like yo, Tank will.
It's weird. It's like the coach, I'm sorry, I don't know his name.
Calvin.
He'd be like, yo, stop playing. Like, you know how y'all talking that Baltimore accent?
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, Tank is like, all right, bet. And then he comes out and just catches him, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I know they was talking about Tank
what is going on?
with Mayweather. They was like, they got this joint called the Sweat Box. I've never been to that gym. I would love to go there, still go there one day, but they just cut all the heat off, you know, all the air off, and it's like, you just in there, and it's like, it's
That's dope.
no time limit, you know, on the rounds. You just going and going, and then they just be rotating. You know what I'm saying? And there's like your tangles in that joint, breaking niggas' noses and like, you know, just putting people down.
Because you're in there with dogs.
You're in there with dogs, so it's
and
like
every minute they putting somebody else fresh in.
Right, they putting something fresh.
That's how they used to get me prepared.
Oh wow.
That's that fighters coming every minute.
Wow.
Give me a fresh body.
Fresh body.
And you tired.
Yeah. But that's the objective, to get you tired.
Right, but beat that out of you.
But staying mentally sharp.
Yeah.
On boxing. Because
that's the thing, like when you tired, just kind of like breathing, you know, because normally, like I know when I was running track, they would tell us, you know, go in 2 and breathe out 1. But when you get hit and if somebody hits you while you breathing in, it's going to really hit you. So you got to like, kind of like pace yourself, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's funny when I hear Rick Ross talk about everybody going, ha, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just doing it for the speed. Like, no, like when you punch and you breathe out, it allows the energy to kind of like go further. But if you there and I go and hit you, it's not going to be the same as going,
not going to have the same effect.
It's not going to have the same effect because like that energy, you know what I'm saying, is going all the way into, you know what I'm saying, the other thing, man.
It's a science, bro.
It is definitely
a science. Sweet.
Boxing is not a game.
A sweet science, man.
Shout out to Conor McGregor.
Somebody catch you on your shit.
Right. And anybody, that's the thing about boxing, anybody could be caught at any moment.
Any given moment.
You know what I'm saying? Like you seen Floyd get caught, right? When Mosley caught him in the one fight.
Caught him twice in 2 different rounds.
Yeah, 2 different rounds. And then but a box is about, you know, how much can you get hit and then hit back? You know, if they hit you and you fall down, then you shouldn't be in the sport.
The objective is not to get hit. But if you get hit, how you going to take that punch?
Right, how you going to take that punch?
How you going to react to that?
Right.
How you going to react to
that?
And
if Floyd got hit.
Right.
Hey, but on some real shit, isn't that like life? Like, in life, based on your stories that you were saying, life hit you a couple times.
A lot of times at a young age.
Yeah, you pivot.
More after that. Like, right after I came back from Ireland, my mom had breast cancer. Wow. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my God.
And I was like, man, like, how long, she gonna have to live. So the doctor gave her 6 months, but God ended up giving her a year and a half. So the end of sophomore year, at Pledge Cap Alpha Psi, started doing, more acting, with the Drama Society. And I ended up booking 2 commercials with a car company, Lawn Chevrolet, and then a voting commercial. And it's like, I was just thinking like, man, like the stuff I'm doing right now, like, I know my mom gonna be proud of me. And so junior year come, I'm getting ready for Golden Gloves. So I'm getting ready for Golden Gloves and I'm talking to my mom, trying to just figure out what's going on. She going through chemo. And right after my Golden Gloves fight, I had fought against Gary Antonio Jr. for the state championship, state finals, and I lost. And my mind wasn't really in the fight. I just wasn't focused. And then at the end of the fight, I don't even know how it happened, but his glove went like through the headgear, or like it scraped the headgear, and I cut my eye. So I'm looking like, dang. So now I had to go get stitches. And it's like, I didn't even feel it. I'm like, I'm bleeding. Like, where the heck did this come from? So I went to the joint, got stitches. And then I went to the hospital where my mom was at. So I'm at the hospice, and I had told my folks, I said, I don't think I'm going to go to school tomorrow. This was Saturday. I went to see her Sunday. I said, I don't think I'm going to go to school on Monday. I'm going to just stay here and, like, be with her. And when I tell you, man, that was like a very, very, like, emotional day, because I was at the hospice, and I'll never forget the time. It was about 4:15. I'm looking at my mom, and, I've been sitting with her since the fight. I'm just holding her hand, and I could just hear her breathing, slowing down. I was like, Dominique, like, she's breathing like every 15 seconds. And then I would listen. It would go like 30 seconds. And I would listen again. It would go to like a minute. And then it got to like 4:24. And I was holding her hand. I was listening. And I kept listening. I was like, Mom. And I didn't hear anything. I was like looking at my sister. I was like, man. I was like, God, how you gonna take my mom, man? Like, you got people that don't even respect their mom. You got people that just disrespect, treat them. I said, man, God, this don't make no sense. And it was just so painful. And I was like, man, like, what am I gonna do? Like, am I gonna go back to college? I said, man, you know what? Fuck college. I don't want to go back. And that's like your part, like, you can't just not go back. Like, you gotta go back. And I was like, man. And so my first reaction, man, when I saw that was, I just want to sketch her. So I pulled out my notebook, man. I started drawing her. I was drawing her hair, and I was taking and she had like a tear coming down her eye, and I drew that too. And I drew like her hands, and I was like, yo, I love you, Mom. I said, man, I really, really love you. And I was like, man, I'm gonna do everything in your honor now. I was like, everything I do. I was like, so I decided to go back to school, and they froze my classes. And they were like, Paul, take as much time you need. I was like, all right. And it's like, I did so much at the school. The support. It's just amazing, man. Because my mom, she didn't have no insurance. She didn't have, like, nothing. And
I'm proud of you, bro.
The University of Maryland East Shore.
This whole episode's been nothing but adversity.
Wow.
How you how you just overcome it. Wow, dog. Like, I ain't know nothing about this shit, dog. Wow.
It was so rough, man, because I didn't know how we gonna pay for a funeral. And UMS, the catering department got the food, the college, the printing department made the program.
Shout out to that school.
They my frat brothers, they were like my pallbearers. My brothers from Cap Alpha Psi came down, and then we had a Eastern Province joint, and all the frat brothers, they're like, yo, brother Jerry, like, he's a good brother, and we just want to raise money. And they helped like raise money for this tombstone, and it was just like, wow. And I was like, man, I never realized like how much I help people, and it's like I don't really ask for help a lot. So like to have all that, it was just amazing. I was like, you know what, God? I said, I'm gonna do some different stuff. I was like, I'm gonna start walking in my purpose, and I'm gonna start like not sleeping on my talent. So that's when I opened up my art company, and I was like, I'm gonna call it Pro Vision Designs. Pro for Proverbs and V for Vision.
And the more wisdom you have, the more vision you're going to have. And so right after that, I opened up my art business and I started doing things in my mom's name. I started, doing 5Ks for breast cancer. I started speaking up on breast cancer and breast cancer awareness. And I didn't realize so many other people were still had family members that passed away from breast cancer. And then when my senior year came, I was like, you know what, man? Like, it's going to be a really good year. I said, this is going to be a really good year. And then when I graduated, I really didn't know what I was going to end up doing. I was like, it almost felt like high school all over again. I was like, acting is doing good, but I'm not making a lot of money from acting. I was like, my artwork, I haven't got a good paying job for my artwork. So they was like, yo, Paul, why don't you be a cop? I said, a cop? I said, you want to be a federale?
Who said that?
My mentor. He was like, yo, Paul, you should be he said, man, look, you in shape. It's easy. I said, man, look, if I be a cop, man, I'm gonna try to change the narrative. Like
you call it a federale?
Yeah, federale. I was like, man. So I go through the process, and I got a clean record, you know what I'm saying? And, I don't drink or smoke, and so by me not drinking or smoking, I would always act like, I was drunk in college. So I had like a little flask. I put apple juice in that job at the parties. Hey, yo, y'all lit. Hey, go handle your part. Whatever you drink, I want some of that. I was like, nah, you can't have none of this, because then they're going to realize it's Kool-Aid or just orange juice. So end up missing a couple track meets. Oh, let me take it back. So after my mom passed away, I said, you know what? I'm going to run for Mr. UMES. I said, if I don't get Mr. UMES, I'm going to become an RA so I can reach out to the new freshmen that's moving in, and I'm going to join the track team and run cross country. So I end up running for Mr. UMES, end up losing by like a half of a point. And I said, ain't no way I lost by like 0.02. I said, I tap danced for the performance. I had a great oratory. I said my interview was amazing.
You said you tap dance?
Yeah, I tap dance.
So you can tap dance though?
Yeah, I be tap dancing.
Okay.
People always ask me, Paul, what don't you do? I said, man,
jack of all
hockey.
trades.
I said, I do a little putt. You know what I'm saying?
I tap dance with Tim's on and shit.
With Tim's? Hey, I like that.
That's awesome.
So tap dance. So I don't get it. I'm like, you know what? I'm about to run cross country for the college. So I start running cross country. End up being the third fastest guy. And this is my first time because the coach would see me running around campus for boxing. I'm just doing miles around campus. He was Jamaican, like, yo, boy, where you come and run for that team? I was like, man. I said, I don't know, man. I said, look, I'll run if you still let me box. I said, because I'm not going to run and I can't box. He said, nah, man, I'm going to let you do both, man. Don't worry about it. I said, man, all right, cool. So now my senior year comes up and I'm an RA, you know what I'm saying, over the freshman for the first semester. And then I go up to the upperclassmen the second semester. And so I started realizing too that a lot of the men that were coming into school weren't really taught and had like those, key skills, like even just talking to women. So, me being a brother Kappa Alpha Psi, we're gentlemen. So I was
what is that? I'm sorry, what is that?
What?
The frat?
The frat, Kappa Alpha Psi.
What is it?
Kappa Alpha Psi.
Kappa Alpha Psi.
Yo, baby, yo.
Okay.
So.
What colors is that? My fault.
Crimson and cream.
Okay.
Crimson and cream. We Crimson and cream 1911.
Every girl's dream is crimson and cream. Right.
Pretty on our left, pretty on our right. So
damn pretty we can't sleep at night.
Out.
Yo.
So
I wasn't expecting that.
I'm sorry, I can't relate.
I can relate to the pretty at night. Pretty,
right.
We look, nigga, I'm going to sleep, nigga. Knock it out. So now I'm looking like, okay, I got a chance to mentor, the young men. So one guy came to me like, yo, Paul, I see you got all the girls, man. Like what you be doing? I said, bro, you just gotta be a gentleman. I said, first you gotta change your look. I said, bro, look at what you wearing. I said, you got on all black. You got black hoodie, black pants, black shoes. If a girl see you walking to her at nighttime, she gonna think you about to rob her. He was like, nah, man, you ain't no girl thinking that. So one of the girls I was talking to came, I said, hey, if Slim tried to talk to you, I said, what would be your first impression?
How's your name, Slim?
Huh?
No, that's
That was your name?
That's just
slang.
code. It's slang.
DC slang.
Oh,
DC slang.
Okay.
Like young, or you know how they.
It's always young and slang.
Yeah.
So she was like, if I see him, I think he trying to rob me. I'm like, bro, see, I'm not gonna lie to you. I said, so this is what we gonna do. I said, we gonna go up to the thrift store, because I know y'all ain't really got money like that, and we gonna try to get y'all some clothes. So now we started getting them, suits and ties and, slacks and stuff, and we would call it Pretty Boy Wednesdays. And we have the guys dress up on Wednesdays. So one guy's like, man, I'm dressing up, man, but the girl's still not. I said, bro, you can't dress like a gentleman and still act street. I said, they're going to know the difference. I said, you got to change your mannerism. He's like, all right. I was like, man, just, open the door for us. I said, you don't even got to say nothing. I said, just do the subtle stuff and watch things change. He said, man, bro, I was opening the door. Like, she said, oh, thank you. Hi, what's your name? I said, bro, look, it's that easy. He was like, wow. And I was like, you know what? I'm reaching more people now as an RA than I would being the face of the college, because I can't interact with the students like I want to.
More like boots on the ground.
Yeah, boots on the ground. Right.
That's what you was doing.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to help them out and everything. And then running track. And now the boxing team, they're still, growing and everything. So now we back to where I'm going to graduate, where I'm going to go at. So I missed a couple track meets to do the physical agility test. So we did it at, the Sports and Learning Complex in Landover. You probably know about that one. Sports and Learning Complex in Landover. And so
For what agency?
For MDTA,
Okay.
For Maryland Transportation Authority Police. So I get to the track, I'm like, bro, this is easy. I said, I run like 6 miles a day.
How old are you?
At this time, I was 21.
Okay.
About to be 22.
Wow, okay.
So, I'm like, man, this is easy.
A mile and a half? No problem.
I was like, mile and a half? I said, man. So now I'm running and people getting mad. They're like, yo, this dude is lapping us. I said, man, slow down, bro. I said, man, all right.
Oh, fat guys like me, like, yo, slow the fuck down, bro.
He said, why you making us look bad? I said, bro, I'm not running the race for you. I'm running it for me. I said, I'm trying to beat my time. So we going through the process.
That's a fact.
Polygraph, background investigation. So when I tell you I had to do everything, I had to find a ride from UMES all the way to Baltimore. So I'm calling people, hey, yo, can you give me a ride? Like,
that's where headquarters is.
That's where headquarters was at.
And this is the only agency you apply for?
It's the only one.
This is the one.
Only one that I applied for. I didn't even know about any other agencies.
Got it.
So like
Okay.
some people, they be like, Paul, I've been applying to like 6, 7, 8 agencies and nobody even responded. Like, you applied to one and you got in. And I had a lot of people that was mad. I'm like, yo, Paul, you majored in art, nigga, and you look up. Like, I majored in criminal justice and I still can't become a police officer. I said, bro, to be honest, I don't even know what to tell you. I was like, I did major in art,
It
but
just wasn't for you.
it just wasn't for you, And so, joining the police department that year, I will say they kind of like got me a little bit. I'm gonna put this off the record, but it was like when I told them, because mind you, 2016 Olympics was coming up. And this was about 2014. I said, look, I'm training for the Olympics. We got tournaments coming up. I said, I know the academy going to be starting, but I got to go to these tournaments. Like, yeah, man, no problem, man. Don't worry about it. I said, man, we'll give you time. Man, they got time to go to these tournaments. They wouldn't even let me go.
Your ass is in the academy.
You in the academy. And I'm looking like, dang. I was like, all right. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to still just train and stay in shape. So during that time, I started seeing, I was like, okay, what am I going to do with my acting? So, everybody gets bamboozled. You know what I'm saying? You start, going to these acting classes and they promising you an agent and promising you all these hoops and hollers, but really it's all just to get your money. So I'm with this group and I go through the last 10 weeks of the class. They bring all these agents in. And actually they were sitting almost like we sitting right now. And I was right there. I auditioned in front of them. And it was like, yeah, we really like you. Come up to New York to sign your contract. And I was like, is that easy? I was like, okay. So I go up to New York and I get there, I go walk in the office and it doesn't feel like homely. Like everybody's just typing and just doing their own thing. And I'm like, something don't feel right. So the lady said, here, fill this out. So I'm filling out, all my specs, size, shoes, shirts, you know what I'm saying? Then she asked me, what won't you do? I was like, first of all, I'm not doing no gay scenes. I was like, and I'm not doing no nudity. She said, oh, really? I said, yeah, I'm not doing none of that. She's like, okay. So now I get a text message from the manager who was pretty much coaching me. He said, Paul, I'm working on a lot of things with the company, and I don't think I'm going to be your manager. I'm just going to give you to them. I'm like, what you think? I'm Lil Bow Wow? I'm like, you just going to give me away? Like, what was it? Was it Snoop Dogg who gave Bow Wow to Jermaine Dupri? Yeah, like Snoop Dogg just gave. I was like, man. So I called my auntie Star. She's almost like the grandma Hollywood. She was in First Sunday. She was in Friday After Next. She's been in a lot of True to the Game. She's been in a lot of movies. She said, Paul, how much do they want? I said, they want 20%. She said, 20? I said, yeah, that's what the contract said. She was like, don't sign with them.
Okay.
She said, don't sign with them. She said, you need to work on your chops. And at this time, I'm like, yo, what are chops? Like, yeah. I've been in, acting in college, high school. Like, I never heard of chops. And
was that your management agency?
Yeah, that was the management agency. So I called him back and said, look, I'm sorry. I appreciate the offer. It was a bi-coastal. I said, I'm going to have to, decline, the offer. And so she felt like, oh, you just think you better than everybody. You just too good to sign with us. I said, no, I'm not saying. I just, don't feel that, that's the best option for me right now. So that's when I end up, Auntie Star introduced me into Percy Thomas, which was my acting coach now. He's actually an alumni from the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. And he was an alumni when we were Maryland State. Before we became Eastern Shore, we were Maryland State. We had a football team, all that. He was the quarterback. But they switched it, I want to say it was after the Title II. Was it Title III? After Title II? Yeah, after the Title II.
You might remember Art Shell, the coach of the Raiders. Yeah, he went to our college as well, Maryland State University. Maryland State College.
He's actually in the Super Bowl Hall of Fame, too.
Yes, he is. Coaches. First black coach ever in the NFL.
First black coach.
With our school.
In the Hall of Fame.
Just so you know that. Yeah.
Hawk Pride, catch it.
Hawk Pride.
So now, I'm like, okay, let me just start getting my chops right. So the first play I did, I'm playing a slave in this play called Zelma. And I was like, man, I learned more about slavery in a play that was pre-1865, the Emancipation Proclamation, than I did in like all my years of living. So after I do that play, I'm starting to, work on my chops. And chops is pretty much like, being able to like do things on cue, you know what I'm saying? Like memorize stuff and like just be able to adapt to different environments. In theater, like John Bernthal always say, theater is like the basis of acting. Like if you could do theater, because like right now, if we acting, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, we're just acting like, if you miss your line, I'm like, yo, Ralph, yo, you see that girl? I'm like, oh yeah, man, she was fine, so it's no like cut. You got to just keep rolling with the punches.
Rolling with it.
And
just
so
fill in the words.
Yeah, just fill it in.
It's a vibe. It's a whole vibe.
Keeping the words going and everything, and just keeping the storyline going. So then the next play, so I'm like, okay, I'm doing another play. So now I'm in this play called The Clock, which was in Baltimore during the 80s, during the crack epidemic. He's like, yo, Paul, I know you never did this, but you're going to play a crackhead. I said, what? It was like, Paul, you work, you know what I'm saying? You see crackheads when you at work. I was like, just act like one of them. I was like, you know what? All right, so now, I'm starting to, drive through Baltimore, and I'm looking at some of the crackheads leading. You know what I'm saying? And trying to
never fall.
And they'll never fall.
Never fall.
I'm like, how is that possible? So I'm getting into, character, when you're getting ready for theater, it's like months, you know what I'm saying? Because it's so much dialogue that you have to like memorize and make it yours. So we get to the end of rehearsal and we're on the last scene, and like, I'm pretty much fiending for some crack. And it's like my parents, they see me, I'm going through withdrawals, and I got the lines down packed, but my acting coach, Percy Thomas, like, yo, Paul, I see you, but I'm not feeling it. Like, I'm not making a connection. And I was like, what you mean? He said, Paul, when was the last time you cried? And I paused. I was like, my mom passed away. He's like, I want you to close your eyes. Right? We were writing rehearsal, so I closed my eyes. He said, Paul, what were you thinking? I said, man, I was thinking like, God, why did you take my mom? Like, she was a very, very special woman. She was like a neighborhood mom. Everybody loved her. He was like, did you ever feel like, regret? I said, yeah, I felt like, I possibly could have done more. He was like, he said, where are you at right now? He said, where do you feel yourself? I said, like, I feel like I'm right in that room with her. And it's like, then it just started hitting me. And I woke up, he said, Paul, open your eyes. I was like, I said, I feel like I'm still with her. He said, Paul, now that's acting. And I'm like, but I'm still crying. He was like, man, wipe your tears. He was like, a good actor can go there and come back. He was like, you got to remember, Paul, the process I took you through is called sense memory. He's like, so when you see actors and they're crying or they're angry or upset, they're pretty much pulling from a previous incident that happened in their life. And I was like, wow. When I went and I was doing that scene, and I was like, so y'all just gonna sit back and y'all gonna let Pops kill me? I was like, Junior, you know what I need? I need drugs like Pops need his booze. Hey, Pops, why you doing this? You think you can just put me through this because you can? No, once did you ever come down to the school to check up on me? I feared to becoming like my older brother Junior, but I feared that you would stop loving me. I was like, you did it to me, Pop! Always talking about me becoming a lawyer. Pop, I just want to be a teacher. And you, Mom, always trying to be there for me. Never came down to check up on me. Pops, look, I'm not hooked. I could just get a taste. I'll be able to kick it tomorrow. And it's like when I go there, it's like, I gotta catch my breath because it's like, it takes so much out of you. And it's like, when I went there, it's like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. It's like the people on stage and they was like, yo, Paul, like, I just wanted to run down and grab and hold you, man. Like, you just was in so much pain. Like, I just saw you just
you dope.
fighting.
I ain't gonna front. Like, I was watching that like it was a movie.
Like,
that was dope.
He was like, you was just going through so much. And I was like, man, I said, you know what, Mom? I know you with me. And it's crazy, man. I see so many signs from my mom. Because like I said, she passed away at 4/24. You know, and she passed away on March 7th. So on March the 7th, I was driving. And I saw the gas. It said 4/24. And then it's on other occasions, I might look up at my phone. It'll be 4/24. One day I went to Wendy's and ordered some food. And it came to 4/24. And it's like, I was like, Ma, I know I wish you could see me in person, like the stuff that I'm doing.
She watching you.
I said, but I know you watching me.
All
and
day.
It's like, it's just such a blessing that right after that, like I was telling Dre, like every time I tell God I'm ready for something, I'm like, all right, God, I done did some plays. I'm ready for a commercial now. So somebody sent me a part. They got this Campbell Soup commercial, King of Prussia, PA. And they was like, you know, I'm going to send you the whole script, memorize it. Gave me the script on Friday. I had to memorize like 2 pages and be there Sunday. So I get there, King of Prussia, and I see there's only 2 other black people, well, me and one other black actor. So we get there and I'm just looking at everybody and I was like, man, you know, I got this whole script memorized. And frat would tell you, you know, being in a frat, you learn to memorize a lot of information at a very quick rate. So I memorized the pages. So I get there and she said, hey, how you doing, Paul? I said, I'm doing great. She said, so what, you here for the audition? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, do you got the script? I said, no, ma'am, I don't need it. She said, what? You don't need the script? I said, no, I don't need it. I said, I got it all memorized. She said, stop playing. I said, no, I got it all memorized. So I'm going through, mind you, commercials for Campbell Soup. So mind you, I'm going through, I get halfway through. She said, no, stop. That absolutely. I said, no. I said, I insist. I said, I done studied this script all weekend.
Yeah, let me get it out.
I'm not going to get half of it out. I said, bro, I need the whole thing.
Let me do it.
So I do the whole thing. And she's like, wow. She's like, okay. She said, all right, let me just do some improv. She's like, act like you waking up. I was like, ugh. She's like, all right, act like, you know what I'm saying, you walking a dog. I said, all right. She's like, act like, you know, you motivating somebody. I thought about when I'm at, you know, motivating this boxing team. Come on, y'all, hard work, pay. Look, no pain. No, one more. I need one more. She was like, oh, wow. They called me back and we was in Philly the next week filming. Nice. And so now we in Philly and now running on set is different than running in track practice. Like, it's so many takes. And mind you, we in Philly, it's cold. I was like, young, how many times we got to run this one scene? And mind you, I ain't got first day I didn't come prepared. I ain't had no long johns on. I ain't had no thermals. I just had, my joggers on.
You was just happy, ready to
I was
work.
just happy, ready to work.
Right.
I was like, look, if it's going to be a long 12-hour day like it was yesterday, I'm coming prepared. So I come prepared and, we're running through the city and everything. And I was like, wait, I thought I was going to be like background. Like I'm in all the scenes. It was like, you're like a principal runner. So if you miss one day, the whole thing is like done. So after we finished filming that, I was like, all right, God. I said, I'm happy. I've done some commercials. I said, man, I'm ready to be on Amazon Prime. So I get booked to be a police officer in a movie written and directed by Corey Larimore called A Worthy Punishment. And it's pretty much about police brutality, but the main character, his little brother, got shot during an interaction with a retired police officer. And he was recording the incident, him and his brother, and he reached for his phone, and a retired police officer thought he had a gun.
He killed him.
So he kills his brother. So now he's on the vengeance of getting revenge on the retired police officer. So I'm like, yo, what's the odds of me getting a police movie, and I'm a police officer?
Right.
So I was like, man, that's different. So we end up filming that, and people don't know, like, I work overnight. So I work 6 p.m. to 6 in the morning. So I work like half the month. But with that set, I had to leave at 6 in the morning after doing the 12-hour 12-hour shift and drive to New Jersey. Because we shot some of the movie in New Jersey and we shot some in Philly. So I was like, man, people, they want to be active, but they don't realize how much work, how much time. It takes a lot out of you.
Take off from your profession?
To do that.
Yeah, it's not easy.
It's a lot. And the January of last year, I was like, God, I want to be on a network. That joint popped up on Amazon Prime.
Nice.
And so I was like, bet. I was like, okay, God, I done did.
How do they find it?
They find it. Oh, they can go to.
What's the name of it?
It's called A Worthy Punishment.
Okay.
A space worthy and then punishment. A Worthy Punishment. And you'll see like a guy. He looks like he's kind of in a hands wrapped and everything in like this little like dungeon type cell. So, my acting coach, he does an end of the year showcase, and he said, Paul, you could choose any monologue you want to do. And I was like, I'm gonna do the crackhead one. I said, cause that was like the one I just showed you guys. I was like, that's the one that I had like the most impact, and I can like really, really bring that character to life. So I do it, record it, and I put it on Instagram. And my buddy, we call him Abstract Media, Brandon Cooper, he hits me up. He's like, yo, Paul, I got the perfect role for you. And this is right after I posted that video. I'm like, what role is? He said, man, I need you to play a crackhead. I said, stop playing with me.
Say no more.
I said, I was just doing a crackhead. He said, but look, you don't got to be serious, Holly Berry. You could be Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, funny crackhead. He's like, your name going to be Cousin Boo Boo. I said, Cousin Boo Boo?
Cousin Boo Boo.
I said, okay, so now I'm in a feature film on Amazon Prime, which is called Thanksgiving Roast, written by Trey Walker. So now, we going through the motions, and I was like, all right, I need to make this crackhead really look like legit. So I go through the thrift store. That's like my favorite spot to get gear from. So I get like this old beat up hoodie. I get this old beat up jacket, like a suit coat. Then I got like this little beanie. I got a old white beater, put some dirt on it. I got some real beat up pants, and I got the boxes hanging out. The shirt is too short, what I'm saying? Just look real cracky. Then I got these memory foam, Posturepedic, slip-on shoes. And so I get on set, and the guy was like, they started putting the makeup on me. He was like, who is that? He said, oh, that's the crackhead? He was like, God dang, I ain't even have to get you nothing. And so it started out being one scene that they had me in. And I was so funny. They ended up adding me in more and more scenes. Like, I was in character so much. We was at the gas station. They picking me up from the gas station. I'm, just looking around, got the whole makeup on. And so a lady pulls up at the gas station, and she looked. She was like, is that a crackhead over there? She was like, oh, hell no. And so she just pulls right off. Then the guy comes to me, so I'm still getting in character. And the guy pulls up to me. He said, hey, you got some gas? I said, man, I got 3 options. I could tell him I'm acting. I could ask him for some crack. Or I could just like open it up like I'm undercover. Show him a fake badge. I said, man, I think it's gonna be funnier to play along. I said, nigga, gas, you got some crack? He said, oh, hell no. He took off and ran, and the director was like, yo, what did he just ask you? I said, he asked you for gas, and I asked him for crack. And I said, he ain't want none of that. He ain't want none of that. And so, and then right after that one, we ended up meeting up with Wale. And my good buddy Lion Beckwith, he always just hooks me up with really, he's almost like they call him the Hollywood mean guy. He was in Den of Thieves with Gerald Butler, 50 Cent. He's been in a lot of movies, and he always just like connects me, like plugs me, like, yo, Paul, I want you to be on set. You got to be in DC by this time. I was like, all right, bet. He said, just let me know once you get down there. I said, all right, cool. I ain't realize I'm about to be on set with Wale for the Poke It Out video that just came out that he did with J. Cole, and he was like, yeah, man, just go down there. So then I get on there, I meet another Cap Outside brother, you know what I'm saying, who's helping to manage stuff. And I'm just on set. Mind you, these girls are supposed to learn how to ride bikes. And I'm like, yo, how y'all pretty, but y'all don't know how to ride no bike. So now I'm doing like bike tutorials. All right, look, you're going to get the handlebars, you're going to get the foot, and you're going to push down. And so now, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, this dude is like really, really just helping out, our set go really, really smooth. So the director comes like, yo, bro, like, I'm the director like of this whole thing. Like, who are you? I said, man, Pablo. He said, man, all right. He said, look, man, let me get your information. He said, man, I appreciate you. So now, you know what I'm saying, I ended up being like Wale's private like watchman. So it's like I'm right next to him. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Wale good. So you know what I'm saying? So it kind of felt good, you know what I'm saying, being like somebody's protected, you know what I'm saying, like that. So that was really, really cool. And it felt like one opportunity just led to the next.
Opens up other doors.
Open doors. And then right after that, ended up getting on We Own the City, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't even realize that it was based off of the Gun Trace Task Force. I'm like, yo, this is going to be dope. And so ended up being on set with Damon Nicholson. You probably know the boxer, Damon, from the area, from Laurel. And I ain't seen Damon in a minute, you know what I'm saying, since the amateurs, because we was both, running in the amateurs and everything. And we ended up being on set together and like, meeting Treat Williams and Jamie Hector and like Johnny, we just call him, Uncle John, you know what I'm saying? He's just a really, really cool actor, and just being around that environment, you get a chance to see, acting at this professional level, like, watching John, like doing it. We did this one scene for almost, like 8 hours, you know what I'm saying? Just from so many, different angles and just, doing it, delivering it. Bruh. And then on top of the heat on it too, like I try to make sure I was hydrated.
I ain't even have all that.
Oh, whoo.
Up close and personal.
Whoo. In there like swimwear, man.
Yeah, I'm in there at 4 a.m.
We Own the City's definitely special.
6, 7 at night.
Yeah, that's like
definitely
a
special.
gem. A true.
I can't wait till it come out.
Gem. What is it? April 25th, right?
Yeah.
April 25th. In there like swimwear.
Yeah.
I mean, that's major, man. Like I'm proud of you, bro.
I'm proud of you, dog. I mean, I'm hearing this and I'm just like taken back. Like, when I met you, I didn't know all that, but just to hear this is like, wow. Thank you for sharing that here. It's very special, dog.
I'm proud of you, bro.
You
means everything, brother.
Yeah, you opened up and you were very honest and truth, and I wish more people would do what you did, because you just, how do you feel right
People
now?
don't realize, like, a smile, it has a lot, and I'm not gonna lie, I had to kind of go to therapy, not for my mom, but for my old mentor, because how much he used to use me and like take money from me, and it was just like I just had to break away from that. In 2016, I became like a man, like even though I was graduated from college and everything, like I was like, I just need my own. And that's when like the acting started taking off, my art business started taking off. Like I'm designing for like Facebook.
How they find you with the artwork?
Oh, artwork, PV Designs. P as in Paul.
And with the acting.
Victor. With the acting, you can reach me at Paul C. Jerry. Paul C. Jerry, man.
How much time you got on now on the job?
Now I got 8 years.
Nice.
8 years. 8 years.
So you
man.
got it.
So what's next for you? Still acting?
Still acting. Actually getting ready for a Netflix movie. I was praying about this, and I told God that I wanted to do a Netflix movie, and the set that I was on for BET, which is going to be another movie coming out this December. The main pastor, what's his name, Apostle Vero, didn't realize she was a casting director. So I always just like vibing, having fun. So we on set, yo, que lo que, mucho brain, no. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, yo, who is that funny little light-skinned dude? So, they got Dorian Thomas in there, from the Parkers, Professor Ogilvy, from the Parkers, he's in there. And she's been like following me. And so now, I'm getting ready, for that film. And I meant to tell you, I caught COVID last year, right after my comedy show, December 26th. And I was down for 2 weeks. And that was probably like the best time I had, because I just finished writing my first feature film.
Nice.
So
That's amazing.
I'm looking for investors, and God kind of gave me the idea, and I was like, I gotta stop, procrastinating. And sometimes I just gotta put Instagram to the side, or just, I don't even keep my notifications on for like any of my social media, because I don't want all that, alerts to kind of keep buzzing and buzzing and buzzing and buzzing. So, just learning a lot about myself. And there's a quote that I live by. And tough times don't last, but tough people do.
Oh,
100%.
And I've been through so much, and I was like,
100%.
what? I'm glad I made it through. And making it through, a lot of times God will bring you through the storm to help somebody else get through the storm.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't remember who said it. Who was it? No, Inky Johnson. He said, don't be stingy, with your come ups and with your lessons, because you never know, who they can end up helping. And everything. So, I don't want nobody to think it was an easy road. And, I'm still working, towards it. People like, yo, Paul, you Hollywood, you famous. I said, bro, don't say that. Like, I'm still Pablo, I'm still grinding. I'm still trying to make it.
Pablo.
Pablo, que lo que.
Pabito.
Pabito.
Any shout out you want to give?
Man, I want to give a shout out to my acting coach, Percy Thomas, and actually I just left his 80th birthday. This man has been on the world for 8 decades.
It's a blessing.
Did a blessing, man. He's been with Alec Baldwin. Like, he's just been with some amazing people. I want to give a shout out to my church, Union Church. I want to give a shout out to my family. My sister, down with my little nephew. Jaleel, keep it real, aka Lil J. Cole. I'm going to give a shout out to my agency, MDTA. Shout out to my chef, Stoner, Muse, artist, Pajaro. Man, I love you guys, man. And I just appreciate everybody, who supports me. My bro Dre, Asia, Naja, David. Who else, man? There's so many. Kate. I'm sorry, I forgot about my pops, man. Another shout out to my dad. Even though he's just got out of the hospital, he's doing a lot better. Thank you guys for the prayers, because we didn't think, he was gonna make it, but God always got an extra angel, in the outfield. So
100%.
I appreciate y'all for having me, man.
bro.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate y'all.
You took us to a wild ride.
Roller coaster.
I was like, wow. Now we appreciate that.
Definitely.
Folks, you heard it. Episode 109. We appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Dre.
Peace and love.
Triple C.
All day.
Be the change in the world you want to be.
Pablo.
K-Lo-K.
Pablo.
All day.
Nothing beats a failure but a try. I try till I die. Therefore, I never fail.
Oh, man. Well said.
Hola, Pablito.
All right, everybody, be safe. Enjoy your weekend. It's episode 109. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace out.
The views and opinions expressed on the Silverback Chronicles podcasts are those of the hosts, producers, and/or the guest appearing on the program. They do not reflect the views and opinions of the federal, state, or local government. This includes but not exclusive to the Department of Defense, Homeland, and the Baltimore City Police Department. The Silverback Chronicles podcast with Dre, Big H, and Triple C. Hit the subscribe button, like and comment.